I hope you've been able to join us for this cup of coffee after Mass. Somebody left a magnificent cake outside my front door this morning. I don't know whether you can see the magnificence of this cake. There we are. It's absolutely inviting. I'm not sure I should eat it all in one go though. But it's wonderful. I'm not going to eat it now because I won't be able to talk and eat that, but it's very tempting. Wonderful. And so thank you for the Father's Day presents. I've got a lovely meal. Somebody left a meal on the door, which is wonderful. So thank you very much. So I'll have that tonight with some of my own tomatoes. I've got 6 tomatoes ripe today. And I'm going to start the stall soon because they're getting ripe very quickly. So so it's lovely. So that'll be for lunch, I think. I'll have the tomatoes. So a happy Father's Day, and it's lovely. Now, wasn't I very good this morning? I didn't mention Everton once this morning, because as you know, Everton are playing Liverpool tonight at 7 o'clock, and it's on television, on some Freeview channel or something. I'm not sure, but it's somewhere. You don't have to have Sky to be able to watch it. So that'll be a nice treat tonight. I think it's at 7 o'clock. So, you know, it'll either be a wonderful Father's Day or a terrible Father's Day. I won't say on which way that depends. That will depend on who you're supporting, but you know where my feelings will be on that. So let's hope it's... there's no game later, it's just a bad dream, Paul. No, it's not. It's going to be a good dream. It's going to be wonderful. We'll see what happens and hope. I mean, Liverpool are going to win the Premiership. It'd be nice if they let Everton win today. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Be a real gesture. Be wonderful, wouldn't it? We'll see. So again, if you want to share anything, the same result as the last derby. We're not going to share about football, okay, because that's divisive. So we won't do that. I was very good. I said nothing at Mass. I didn't even wear blue vestments. Not that we've got any blue vestments. I was in a parish once where they had blue vestments, but I didn't wear them. We're not supposed to wear blue vestments, so never mind. So thank you to those who've helped us open the church, because that's been lovely. It's been very emotional for me. I think last Sunday when we had the drive-through benediction, just opening the doors of the church to take out the Blessed Sacrament was very moving for me. Strangely moving, I have to say. I was really struck by just the physical act of opening the doors and taking out Jesus in the monstrance. It was very powerful, and it's something that will always stay with me, I have to say. It's one of those punch in the face moments when something just hits you that you're not expecting it. So, you know, it was very strangely very moving, and it's been lovely. We've had about 30 people each day have been coming into church, so it's been lovely. So thank you. Thank you to those who you know, are welcomers, who are making sure that everywhere is clean and safe. And, you know, it's been great. So that's, you know, Monday to Saturday, 11 till 12. So that's wonderful. So thank you to those who've been part of that. I suppose, like all of us, we've been struck by, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement. Today's the Catholic Church Day for Life, and I kind of want to say all lives matter. I know Black Lives Matter, but all lives matter, from the womb to the tomb, from the very first moment of life to the end of life, a natural end of life. So I think it's important that we celebrate that all lives matter. So that's really important. But there was this big debate during the week about Swing Low Sweet Chariot and whether it should be sung or not at rugby matches. And they talked about there was a song written by a freed slave. I mean, I have to say, I've always thought it was a song that referred to, like, some of the readings we had during the week. It was about Elijah being taken up in a chariot, a fiery chariot. So I don't know I mean, lots of the gospel songs, have a scriptural reference. But it made me think, and some of you may have heard this before, but I often share the fact with people about, that some songs are written, and they can be very hurtful. So, I mean, in Scotland, where there's still Rangers and Celtic, still hugely tribal in terms of Catholic and Protestant, that, they banned the hokey cokey from Rangers matches. So in Rangers Stadium, they're not allowed to sing the hokey cokey. And it reminded me that, I don't know, and I've looked it up, and there's very different schools of thought on this. But one of the things that people talk about the hokey cokey is it was written as a skit on Catholics, particularly a skit on the Mass. The word hokey cokey, like the word hocus pocus, which means a load of nonsense. Hocus pocus. If it's hocus pocus, it's a load of baloney. Comes from the Latin words hoc est corpus. Those of you who are older than I am will remember the old Latin Mass and the priest, as he hold the host up, the words hoc est corpus meum. This is my body. So hokey cokey comes from hoc est corpus. And the actions of the hokey cokey are the actions of the old Latin Mass, when the priest genuflected and held the host up, right arm in, right arm out, left arm out, and then he would turn around and show the host, and they'd ring the bell. So you see how, if you think about it, the words and the actions of that song are a skit on something that we as Catholics hold, very dearly, don't we? So, it's interesting how songs can make a very big impact, really. Rachel Cunningham there saying the new entrance ramp, when it's complete. They were supposed to start on Wednesday, but on Wednesday morning they rang and said they can't get certain materials because of lockdown, so hopefully they're starting tomorrow. It's a 4-week job. I'm not quite sure why it takes 4 weeks to build a ramp, but there we are. That's what they're saying it will take. So who knows? But yeah, Rachel, it'll be wonderful. I hate it the way anybody who can't get up steps has to go around the side door and come in. It's not right. All lives matter. Even if you can't walk up steps, your life matters. So I hope it's one other way in which we say that, you're welcome here and there's a place for you at Holy Rosary Church, because it's a really important thing for us to be able to do. The other thing I was thinking about this week, one of the things Pope Francis said a few years ago now, he said we should all find out the date of our baptism and the date of our first communion, and we should celebrate those dates. And to my shame, I didn't know either of them. And, it's one of those things when you miss your parents. There was nobody to ask. But I found an my old first communion certificate. And it had on the date of my first communion, the date of my baptism. So this week, on Wednesday, was the 55th anniversary of my first communion. And it was lovely to be able to reflect on that. I just mentioned it at the end of the Mass. But 55 years ago, on last Wednesday, I made my first Holy Communion. It's a long time. I mean, for some of you it'll be long, but it was lovely to be able to remember the day. And in April I celebrate the anniversary of my baptism. We used a song last week at Mass from Godspell, and a number of people said, wouldn't it be lovely to see Godspell again? And it would. I think Godspell's a wonderful musical. I mean, it's very scriptural. I mean, Day by Day is the song that we used at Mass last week. But there's some great, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Prepare ye the way of the Lord is another of the songs that people might know from Godspell. And it's a great music. And it just made me think of musicals. So maybe for a moment, just share somebody, share if you can, what your favourite musical is. And you're not allowed to say Les Mis. Well, you are, because that's, for lots of people, that is their favourite. But have you got a favourite musical? I mean, Godspell's certainly one of mine. I mean, I also like Miss Saigon. It's written by the same people who wrote Les Mis, Bouleville and Schoenberg. And Cats, Mandy. Now that's interesting. The film recently's been, I haven't seen it, but the reviews of it were terrible, and the bits you saw of it it didn't look odd. Sound of Music, Phantom of the Opera. All right, Sound of Music, yeah. I mean, Cats is love. The Lion King. Yeah, I love The Lion King is stunning. I mean, it's magnificent, The Lion King. I mean, if you can ever see it live. I mean, I remember not long after my dad died, taking my mum to see it. The Greatest Showman. Oh, I don't know that. West Side Story. That's splendid, yeah. Sound of Music. And this is fascinating. Thank you for sharing the Miss Saigon, yeah. I mean, Miss Saigon's beautiful. Guys and Dolls. Oh, Phantom for Margaret. Yeah, the film of Cats, Mandy's nowhere near as. I mean, Joseph, yeah, that's a good. I mean, that's nice, Joseph. I remember singing in Joseph in the Philharmonic Hall when it first came out. Way back, Blood Brothers. I love Blood Brothers. Blood Brother. I mean, Marilyn Monroe's my favourite song from Blood Brothers. Jesus Christ Superstar, yeah. The thing about Godspell is that it believes in the resurrection. Jesus Christ Superstar ends with the death of Jesus. Godspell has a moment of resurrection, which I think is really, really important. Phantom followed by Les Mis, right? So Kathleen Doyle, Carousel, Seven Bright, right? I'm not a great Rodgers and Hammerstein musical fan. Well, I'm going to have to watch The Greatest Show, South Pacific. Yeah, Joseph. Blood Brothers is great. I mean, I've seen Blood Brothers. In fact, I saw Blood Brothers in America once. And it was really funny watching it. It was in Seattle. And it was very strange because, I mean, it was exactly as we'd see it here in Liverpool. Annie, that's a lovely one. But all the references to, places. So somebody moving to Skelmersdale. If you live in Seattle, well, a reference from moving from the centre of town to Skelmersdale is totally lost on you. So, they enjoyed the music, but they lost so much of what was really meaningful in the story of Blood Brothers. It's Blood Brothers is amazing. Because, no matter how many times you see it, Oliver's great. I have a very soft spot for Oliver. When I was at school at Cardinal Allen, as it was, we did a musical there every year. And in my first year, year 7 now it would be called, I played the part of Oliver in the musical. Sylvia's there sharing about her fear of Blood Brothers when the actors ran through the congregation, through the audience, and she thought it was for real. Um, You'll Never Walk Alone is a song from Carousel. That's why I've never seen Carousel, Joan. Um, but you know, I mean, Blood Brothers is powerful. The story is very powerful, isn't it? The Carole King's Jersey Boys and Oliver. Yeah, this is really nice. Thank you for sharing these, because it just brings back. I'd forgotten about Oliver. I mean, it's, you know, it's a long time ago, and it's nice to have that memory. Rachel's seen Blood Brothers 5 times. Love Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, I mean, it's great. Sandra Brown, Shame. Is that a musical or is it a comment on people's? The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, now, I mean, I've heard people who've seen, there's a sequel to The Wizard of Oz, isn't there? There's Wicked. I've never seen Wicked. Camelot. Yeah, Camelot is good. West Side Story. The music of West Side Story is powerful, isn't it? I mean, My Fair Lady is a great musical as well. I was brought up as a child. My parents were mad Gilbert and Sullivan fans. Somebody ringing my front doorbell. Let me just go and answer the front door for 1 minute. The Book of Mormon. Oh, Ben, I saw the Book of Mormon. I'm not recommending the Book of Mormon. It's okay apart from one song. I saw the Book of Mormon last year. I treated myself to a night out in London for my birthday and went to see the Book of Mormon. And it was fine. There was one song that was just blasphemous. I won't tell you what it was, but I mean, other than that, it was okay, but it was interesting. I'm very pleased that Ben McMullen thinks that's his favourite musical. So, you know, The Greatest Showman, I'll have to look that up. Whistle Down the Wind. Oh, is that a Lloyd Webber? It might be. Her Benny. Oh. Do you do parish trips to musicals? Well, we've done parish trips to theatre in lots of parishes I've been. We did, you know, recently, in fact, we saw one of the few productions here, Never on a Sunday. Oh yeah, that's, I know Never on a Sunday. We went to see Our Lady of Blundell Sands at the Everyman. It was the Friday before all the lockdowns started, so we were very lucky to have gone to see that. The Jersey Boys, The King and I. Oh, and Oliver with Oliver Reed. Oh yeah, was Oliver Reed in the film of Oliver? Was he Bill Sykes? I mean, it's fascinating. I mean, musicals have. So I think I was saying before the bell that I was brought up on Gilbert and Sullivan. My mum and dad were very keen Gilbert and Sullivan fans, and so took us as children to the Royal Court, you know, when it was a kind of proper theatre, and we went to see, I mean, nearly all the Gilbert and Sullivan ones. And I used to say if I ever had to go on Mastermind, I could answer questions on Gilbert and Sullivan. I probably couldn't anymore. Her Benny was a Liverpool-based book. Oh, right, I studied for the year 6, right. Oh, 6, right, I don't know. I'll have to look these up. This is fascinating. It is a Lloyd Webber. Thank you, Rachel. I thought it was Whistle Down the Wind. But, you know, so Gilbert and Sullivan was great fun. The D'Oyly Carte Opera Company used to come to the Royal Court 2 or 3 times a year, and we would go as a family to Gilbert and Sullivan. And I once produced and musically directed a Gilbert and Sullivan in the seminary. We did HMS Pinafore, and I conducted the college orchestra, and it was very well. It was enjoyable. It was probably awful, but it was good fun, and it was nice to revive a tradition that up Holland had stopped the tradition of they'd always done a Gilbert and Sullivan. So it was nice to do that. you wouldn't see me on Mastermind. Don't worry, Joan, no problem at all. Right, look, shall we stop, because this is at 20 minutes now, this is a record. So thank you, it's been a lovely conversation and a nice chat. Somebody rang the doorbell and gave me a box of heroes. I keep saying we're all heroes, the Mikado, Paul Fallon, yeah, we're all heroes, you know, because we're keeping social distance, we're doing our best, we're trying to do what we can do. Dad was a founder member of the local GNS societies. We have an Aintree Village Gilbert and Sullivan Society. I know there's one in Crosby that some of the parishioners are part of. He bought me a newspaper as a Father's Day present. That's a nice thought, thank you very much. Good. More treats, you're right. I'm spoilt. I am very spoilt. We had a conversation with some priests this week about, you know, what's the effects of lockdown. This is the final thought. And they said that one of the things that had most surprised them was that how they felt that people appreciated what they were able to do. It's an interesting thought, that, isn't it? I mean, I appreciate what you've been able to do, and I've been very blessed by the, you know, people who've kind of shared their appreciation. So, you know, it's really nice. But Crosby was the one I meant. Right, I see. The Crosby Gilberts. Excuse me. We lost the signal then for a moment. It's come back. Poor Wi-Fi. Cardinal Allen with Canon Kieran. Yes, Paul, I was at Cardinal Allen only for 2 years with Canon Kieran, taught by Father Holland, Joe Holland, and who later became parish priest in Lydiate, and by Father Vincent Malone, who later became Bishop Malone, who died just recently. Yeah, it was a fascinating time. That's enough. Let's stop. Hope you have a good week. Please be a hero this coming week, you know, in looking after each other as we are doing here. We're doing really, really well. Have you been on the scales lately? I have, Maureen O'Brien. And I've kind of, I'm not going to tell you exactly how, but I mean, I put half a stone on at the beginning, and I've lost 3 pounds of that half stone. So I'm on the right way. I'm on the right way back to where I should be. I'm still a bit more than I should be, but never mind. You're a long time dead. So thank you. Have a good week, and we will share another coffee and chat next Sunday, as I hope to share lots of things with you over the coming week and the next weeks. Take care. God bless everyone. Bye bye.